Welcome back. I am in conversation with Professor Yogendra Yadav. Professor Yadav, you see, you have also accused Kejriwal of a Stalinist-like purge, which he has brought about within the party, throwing out people whom he doesn't like, etc. And you are also saying that, technically, since you have not received the order, you may like to consider yourself as part of the Aam Aadmi Party, if not at least part of the movement, the idea. Now, does it give, am I to understand that you would have loved to stay on in the Aam Aadmi Party, because you have also given an example as to how Lal Krishna Advani and Atal Bihari Vajpayee, despite differences, stayed on in the party for 40 long years?
I've not accused anyone in person, but I mean, this is classic Stalinist purge. This is exactly what happened in Soviet Union in the late 1920s and through the 30s. Whoever Stalin did not like, they were thrown out, no formality. And this whole point about not an order is not so much of a technical legal point. It just shows how there is complete disregard for minimum norms about how to run a political organization. But to your main question, would I have liked to stay on? Yes, it was very important. Aam Aadmi Party represented hopes of millions of people in this country. And it is tragic that after such a big victory, instead of taking a broad view, instead of approaching things with a big heart and doing something big, the party gets into all these things.
Any feelers in the last 10 days since you have been expelled or the announcement of expulsion made?
No, I don't. I mean, I keep my communication with most colleagues open, with anyone in the world open. But no, this is not the, this business of feelers and this is not how we operate at all. In any case, I've had simply no communication with Arvind at all.
You see, you have immediately plunged into something called the Swaraj Abhiyan. You have already held 1 or 2 of these sessions, and you plan to have them elsewhere. My question to you, what is Swaraj Abhiyan, and is it a precursor to another political party that Yogendra Yadav, Prashant Bhushan and others may float in the coming days?
Good question. Swaraj Abhiyan is a way of keeping the spirit of that movement alive when the party is not being true to it. I talked about the journey. Some people have got tired. They are now sitting on a chair. That's all right, but someone has to keep the spirit on. And in Swaraj Abhiyan, our first and foremost objective is to reach out to precisely those volunteers, thousands, lakhs of them, who had invested in politics for the first time in their life. They are feeling dejected. Someone has to hold their hand and say, don't worry, don't lose heart, we'll continue the journey. Will it turn into a political party? No, we have decided very carefully, we thought about it. There was a question and we did this discussion absolutely openly.
So, no political party. That means you're saying that the Swaraj Abhiyan is not going to transform into a political party, because Ramlila or Jantar Mantar did convert into a political party.
Let me clarify that, Claire. We had very detailed and open discussions in the presence of media about whether we should form a political party right now. And we came to a conclusion through voting, through open deliberations, that no, the country is not ready for another political party. That's the last thing people want right now. Our priority is to retain the hope of those volunteers, to be able to engage them. And 3, we need to prove to ourselves first of all, and then to the country, that indeed some of the ideals we are talking about can actually be practiced. So we need to produce a model, unless we can do all that.
So are you prepared for a long haul?
Of course, it has to be a long haul. I kept saying, I mean, the whole problem is this shortcut. Like fast food, you have a fast politics culture. We want overnight results. We want things to change within 1 year, 1 month. It has to be a long haul. It's a large and very diverse and very complex country. The only way of changing it is to work in the long run. You need a lot of patience. That's why I kept telling my colleagues, you need patience. Don't get desperate. It's only the beginning of a journey.
I mean, I want to, since we're talking, I mean, there's an impression that, while second stint, Arvind Kejriwal wanted that, okay, now let us consolidate in Delhi and not think about, expanding in other parts of the country, whereas you or some of your other colleagues wanted Aam Aadmi Party to be a pan-India phenomena. Is it true, and said that that was also one of the reasons for the problems?
That was a very minor thing. There was a tactical difference. We wanted more attention outside. Arvind wanted more attention inside Delhi.
Yeah.
But that's a small and tactical difference on which you can agree to disagree. And as far as contesting elections was concerned, I also agreed that maybe focusing more on Delhi was a good idea. The real difference was, should we therefore not do anything in Assam? Our colleagues are working here. Do we attend to them? Do we relate to them? Do we build an organization? Do we build a movement? Forget elections. Maybe we decide not to contest election for 10 years. But should we not build a movement in Assam? What should our colleagues in Tamil Nadu do? My argument was that this is a nationwide phenomena. Delhi happens to be the first site of electoral experiment. So for election purposes, if you want to focus on Delhi, do that. But we owe it to the country.
There is nothing bars you to spread across the country.
Absolutely. And if we do not do it now, what happens to all this idealist energy in Assam? Will they come and work in Delhi? They might come for 2 weeks for Delhi elections. What will they do? So it is our duty to expand the organization all over the country and to develop a nationwide outlook.
In your typical polite and sophisticated manner, Professor Yadav, you were saying that all these things take me to my first question or initial few questions, that Aam Aadmi Party has betrayed the people across the country on the faith it had, or failed to provide them a platform or an opportunity to work across the country.
I'll restate it. I would say Aam Aadmi phenomena generated huge potential in this country. Aam Aadmi Party could use only a tiny bit of that. A large part of the job remains to be done. And Swaraj Abhiyan wants to continue that.
Right. Will you say that it was because of the flawed policy of the Aam Aadmi Party top leaders led by Arvind Kejriwal that led to this?
It was a very short-sighted vision which led to underutilizing the enormous potential which still exists. Therefore, I don't use the language of betrayal. All this is out of bitterness. I look forward.
Absolutely. On that very interesting note, we shall go for another short break. Stay on. We'll be right back.